ICE agent shot at. What the fuck?
Turning back to that breaking news out of Chicago,
Whoa.
Customs and Border Protection says agents were shot at while conducting an immigration enforcement operation earlier today. Cameras from our Fox affiliate were there in the aftermath of the shooting. That's the video currently on your screen.
Yeah.
There have been weeks of tension in Chicago over the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration, amid a legal battle over whether the White House can send the National Guard there.
Yeah.
Former acting ICE director Jonathan Fahey is with us. Jonathan,
so they got shot at?
A black Jeep apparently speeds by.
This in
a
Chicago.
bunch of ICE officers. Shots are fired, and the Jeep speeds off.
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
You know, I want to say it would be shocking or something else,
It's
but
really
I feel
not.
like with all of this rhetoric and all this what's been going on in the last several months with this rhetoric, political rhetoric directed at ICE agents, directed at CBP.
I don't really give a fuck, if you want me to be honest, because they could have arrested all the people on the internet that are saying to shoot the ICE officers and stuff like that. There's people that have been advocating for this for a long time, and nothing has ever happened to them. So at a certain point, when is the government not responsible for what they're doing? Like, how is it not their fault whenever you have people that are out there they're just making these posts? Just figure out who's making them and just go arrest them. It's so simple. Like, advocating violence for federal officers is against the law. It's not your First Amendment right to do that. Everybody knows this who's not retarded. So why are we even putting up with this for even a second? So this is what's so annoying to me, is that, wow, what a big fucking surprise this is happening when you have an entire online ecosystem that is built around goading it into happening.
It's not surprising that the level of violence against them has risen, and something like this,
No,
and
it's
even
not.
something worse than this, are bound to happen.
Eventually, what's going to happen is ICE agents are going to start getting killed. And when that happens, it will give Trump the green light to go full tyrant, full authoritarian, and do everything that he wants to do. That is probably what's going to happen, because people will want that to happen at that point.
Happen because of the rhetoric, and the unfortunate thing is
that's not really, again, it's not a good thing to have like martial law or something like that implemented, because if you think they're not going to do that, you're out of your mind. It's very easy for them to do that. And, the courts say that. Well, who's the military listen to? Who do the police listen to? They're going to listen to who's in power, not the courts. So keep that in mind, too. And it's very, very easy to have happen. And it's a good thing when it's needed. Yes, if you kill a cop, you'll kill anyone. Yes, of course. And so they only need to wait. Yeah, and I think that might be what they're doing. But I think that's a horrible thing, because then you create a precedent of doing this, which is obviously bad. And you're also, in the meantime, putting all of these people's lives at risk because you're using them effectively as bait, right?
these ICE agents are simply doing a job.
ICE needs to shoot back for once. Oh, I've said this before. If anybody, if you shoot at a police officer, if you shoot at any federal officer, you should just expect to get shot, right? I mean, what are we even talking about here?
They're required to do.
Yeah,
and
duh.
These politicians are, elevating themselves, their status within the Democratic Party by essentially tacitly supporting this type of activity.
Then arrest them.
It's a wonder, frankly, that nobody was hurt.
It's a wonder that nobody's arrested. That's the problem. Is that if you want to stop this stuff from happening, see, people like this, all of these annoying, screeching Karens, they'll go home if they know. Do you think this could be an international play by Trump? Genuine question. Intentional play? I don't think so. Honestly, I just think he's doing a bad job. If you want me to be totally honest, I think that he might use it to his advantage. Like, Trump is, I think, kind of good at taking advantage of situations, but he's generally, I would say, not very great at creating a plan ahead of time. He's good at reacting and he's good at playing the cards he's dealt, but he's not very good at building a deck, if that makes sense. And I think that's my analysis of it. And overall, you're not going to get these people to get off the streets by explaining to them that the raids are okay and they're justified. What you will get them off the streets with, though, is if there is so much overwhelming force that they know that nothing that they do will do anything. And if they try to touch anybody or do anything or scream at people, they'll get arrested. And that's what needs to happen. The reason why you have all of this escalation of violence with ICE agents and everything is because it's allowed to happen. It's allowed to happen by the government. The government could easily crack down on this and start arresting these people, detaining them, and taking them to federal prisons or federal detainment camps, which is what I think they should do. And this isn't for protesters. These are for people that are violent, people who are touching police officers, people that are trying to impede the officers from doing their jobs. Just because you disagree with the law doesn't mean you just get to stand in the way of a truck and make sure it can't go somewhere. And that's what needs to happen. It's simple obstruction. Yeah, it's so simple. Trump needs to big dick these situations. Exactly. You have to scare these people into submission because you can't reason a person out of a position that they didn't reason themselves into. None of these people are here because they've logically come to the conclusion that illegal aliens are good for the country. They're all here because they saw some video of a crying little girl and they think that ICE agents are just killing them. That's the reason why. So you can't explain it to them. There's no point in explaining it to them. You just immediately just crush it completely. And any hope that there's anything that you can do to stop this from happening, you take that dream and you put it in the dirt.
Agents had to call in local police. Are they allowed or
emotions
are they not
don't beat
allowed
logic? I'm sorry.
To actually...
Well, it's not that they beat logic. It's that you can't reason with people like this. This is one thing that I've learned about people that are religious, for example. You're never going to reason a person out of, like, for example, if somebody feels like they lived, they say, oh, Jonah lived in a whale for 3 days, or the earth is 6,000 years old. You can show them fossils that date back however many years. You can show them stars, and you can talk about the way that light moves, and then the fact that the stars indicate that, the earth has been here for this long, or anything like that. The universe has been here for this long. You can do everything, but at the end of the day, they never arrived at that conclusion through logic, and they will never leave that conclusion with logic either. You have to meet people where they are. The strongest argument in a lot of cases is not an argument.
Enforce local law and maybe fire back in a situation like this.
Well, they're certainly allowed to defend.
Oh, if somebody shoots you, should absolutely shoot them. Yeah, 100%, obviously.
Themselves, and also to arrest somebody doing that, because that would be a federal law violation as well. But it just gets so complicated because you have the locality, of Chicago and Illinois as a whole that are.
You know what I think is probably funny? The fact that the ICE agents probably weren't even the real people that they were shooting at, and I bet it was probably just a shooting that happened in Chicago near ICE agents, and this is probably just a coincidence.
Fighting against the governments are fighting against the federal government at every step of the way, so they're really not getting the support that they need, and even the local police probably want to support them, but they're not getting the support from their upper level. So it really is just a bad situation. And again, these agents that are out there, these are moms and dads, brothers, sisters, neighbors of so many people, and they're putting their lives on the line, and they're in fact doing what they're supposed to do. And these politicians, it goes so far beyond irresponsible political rhetoric, what's been going on. And it's sad that we're going to have to be either today or down the road on one of these shows talking about some horrible tragedy that in many respects.
Somebody's going to die. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. I'm actually shocked that it hasn't happened yet.
To be prevented.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because it's a strange time in this country when law enforcement officials not only get criticized for doing their job.
Ancestors came to America illegally. Yep. And how'd that work out for the Native Americans? That's not where I want to be. I'll tell you that.
But I mean, they've had bricks and paint cans thrown at them in Chicago for trying to pick up illegal immigrants.
Yeah, it's really insane if you think about it.
Well, I shouldn't have let it. They're letting it happen.
And the rhetoric coming against them, they're routinely, as we talk about a lot here, they're routinely compared to Nazis by our highest level politicians, not just some fringe politician. So it really does say it's acceptable to resist them and what they're doing, and it's acceptable to harm them if you equate them to Nazis and deal.
Well, I mean, again, if that's the case, then why not just escalate the rhetoric at them too? Like, the people like this will never listen until they're able to feel the consequences of their action. There's never going to be a point where okay, well, now we're going to understand this, and it's not, I'm going to get it and figure out what's going on. There's no way that's going to happen. It will always be the same thing every time.
Legitimize everything.
Fight fire with fire? Yeah, exactly.
They're doing, and it's not surprising that certain members of the public are responding this way.
Because then you're proving their point. Again, you're thinking in terms of you're allowing those people to dictate the conversation by thinking that what their point is even relevant to the conversation to begin with. They don't have a point. They're just retards getting mad for no reason. The only point that matters is the points that win the game. I don't care whether, but see, you're proving me right. Good. All right, there you go. You should have should have watched out for it.
It is just, again, the ones that are actually doing their jobs responsibly are the ones that are attacked, which is just the ultimate irony and the tragedy of this whole thing. In addition to
what do you think Republicans should do? Start calling them terrorists? Maybe, yeah. I mean, if it was me, what would I do? If I was Trump and I saw these people doing the ICE stuff, what would I do in terms, whatever they did, I would do that. Like I'm the kind of person that I will match somebody's force, right? So for example, a lot of these people that try to publish, for example, people's addresses and stuff like that. What happens if you publish theirs? Well, I bet they're going to stop it real quick. And that's the difference. Is that these people are bullies because they run unopposed. But the moment that these people meet an equivalent force or an oppressive force, a force that is actually what they believe that they're fighting against, they will immediately crumble. They will stop, and this will be over in a day. They'll just escalate again. No, they won't. They can't. I think that, again, everybody thinks that that's what's going to happen. Most people are not actually violent. They're terrified of it. That's it. Retaliate with punishments. The worse than the offense will stop it. Yeah, exactly. Wasn't a situation like that in LA? Someone docks a person at docks dice? Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember that exactly. Investigate them as domestic terrorists? Yes. And so, and a lot that you'll start a civil war? No, you won't. The Civil War was a lot bigger than it was. I think that you're really overestimating the amount of people that are out here doing this stuff. You see a few hundred people go out and get mad about this. It's actually a very small amount. It's incredibly easy. I think that COVID is a great example of this. The government exercised a tremendous amount of authoritarian control during COVID, and everybody basically listened. People were mad about it for sure, but they listened. And that's always what's going to happen. People listen to authority and they listen to force.
Tragedy on the streets today.
So if this person is caught, what kind of prosecution might they face, given that it's Chicago, Illinois?
Well, the good news is there will be federal charges that could be brought, attempted murder of a federal agent and things of that nature, use of a firearm during a crime of violence. So they really are some serious federal charges, which will carry a serious penalty. Just the firearms offense alone would have a 10-year mandatory minimum. Ooh. But again, your point is overall right.
That's a good start.
Overall good in that you're going to be still trying a case in Chicago where you have citizens that are really turned against ICE agents. So, hopefully you would get a jury that would convict on the facts rather than nullify these situations. Yeah. And there's also a plethora of state charges, attempted murder, other types of things that could also be brought against this person. And hopefully people for this type of thing would unite and support a prosecution, and ultimately, hopefully, significant sentence would be laid out in this case, because whoever did this needs to be off the streets and off the streets.
Imagine ruining your life for an illegal. Yeah, I know.
Anyone that's thinking about doing this needs to see that message and realize it's not worth it.
Yeah, it is fortunate that none of those agents was hit by that random gunfire or directed gunfire. Jonathan Fahey.
It's definitely a good thing, but overall, I think that I don't think that they're addressing this and dealing with these people in the right way. And I think that by not doing that, they're just letting the you're basically letting an infection spread. And the longer that you let an infection like this spread, the more detrimental, the more pervasive, and the more problematic it is. The best thing to do is to go in and immediately root it out and get rid of it before it makes other things worse as well. It's like a virus. Yes, exactly, right? And left's group of pussies. Yeah, again, all the people, again, everybody thinks like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be a fucking extremist. I'm going to, fight for this. When people actually have to put anything on the line, especially whenever it's against just completely oppressive force, nothing is going to happen. They're not going to do anything at all. So I don't know what it is. And then what's this here? Then you have to excuse to amputate? Well, I don't think amputating that is a good thing, right? Tired of Trump pussyfooting around everything? I am too. I'm extremely tired of it, and I find it to be extremely frustrating. I don't know why more people don't realize that and more people don't hold them accountable. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't really care too much about it. And I think that they're afraid, and this is, I think, the big issue, right? Is that people are afraid of the perception of the people that already think that they're Nazis. They're like, oh, well, I don't want these people to call me a Nazi. They're already calling you a Nazi. They're already calling you a fascist. You're trying to seek the approval of people that want to undermine you and make you lose. By the extent that you seeking their approval is losing. If you want those people to like you, just do what they tell you to do. That's it. That's the only way they'll really like you. And that's it. Who cares what these people are saying? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, optics is a losing game. Yes, never care about optics at all.